Hey, what's up, everyone? I just wanted to go over some things today about the iPhone X. Now, Apple told a couple of lies during their presentation, or keynote, or whatever they want to call it, and they had some technical boo-boos. Oh, I thought that was a picture of the iPhone there for a minute. Let's bring the right one up here. There we go. Well, you can see why I was confused, right? But what I want to do in this video is go over some of the things that the iPhone X improved on the Note 8. But we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I want to go over a couple of things that Apple said that absolutely are untrue. First of all, that they perfected the OLED screen. Well, they didn't perfect anything. For one thing, they know nothing about manufacturing OLED screens. For another, Samsung did it. Now, the interesting part about this is the lowest resolution and lowest brightness screen that's been out since 2014, as far as on a flagship phone like a Galaxy series. Okay, so if we were to look at the Note 8, it's 1440 by 2960 pixels, 521 pixels per inch density with 1240 nits of brightness. Okay, that's extremely bright. And then if we look at the Galaxy S7, we're going to go back to a phone that released last year. Okay, it has 1440 by 2560 pixels, 534 pixels per inch, and a brightness of 855 nits. That's maximum brightness when auto brightness is on. All right, let's go back to 2015. Galaxy S6, 1440 by 2560 pixels, 577 pixels per inch density, and a max brightness of 784 nits on auto brightness. Okay, so those three are all 2K displays. Now let's look at the iPhone X. 1126 by 2436 pixels, 458 pixels per inch, and a brightness maximum of 625 nits. Okay, so welcome to 2014. So they didn't perfect anything. There's a big fib right there. The next thing is the first phone made for AR, or augmented reality. Okay, there were phones out that run Google Tango. So Tango is their AR platform, and they have a couple of phones out that before the iPhone, quite a bit before, that use the Tango technology. So you have the Lenovo Fab 2 Pro and the Asus Zenfone AR. Now these have been out for some time. Okay, so there's something they weren't truthful about as well. Now, let's go on to exaggeration. Does anybody know what the RDF stands for? That's the reality distortion field. Okay, and that's something Apple's famous for. They distort reality, and people tend to believe it. But let's go on from there. You see that this has an edge-to-edge display. Well, except for this unibrow here and this bezel that goes all the way around. So how far into the RDF you have to be to see that this is not an edge-to-edge display. This is called a bezel. Okay, so let's just not go there. I mean, it's not an edge-to-edge display. Now, here's the Galaxy S8. You'll see that on the sides, it is truly edge-to-edge. I mean, there is such a small amount of bezel there, I'm not even sure that is a bezel. Now, of course, you have these top and bottom small bezels. But, wouldn't you rather the iPhone have this than this? I think most people would. Okay, so let's not call something an edge-to-edge display when it isn't. Okay, so now what I want to go over is some of the things that the iPhone X improved over the Note 8. The Note 8 came out at about the same time, okay? Just a little bit before it, like days or a week or something like that. Don't remember exactly. Now, when I say improvements, this is sarcastic. So brace yourself. Now, Apple fanboys are not going to like this, but I'm doing this so that I can show regular iPhone users that aren't completely taken by Apple's BS that they're not breaking any new ground here whatsoever. In fact, they're years behind. Okay, so I just wanted you to be able to show you that and make an informed decision. Don't just go giving Apple your money because you think they're the best. It's a great phone probably, but you need to think long and hard before you give $1,000 to Apple for a phone that isn't really up to what today's phones are. Okay, so without further ado, let's go over the list here. Okay, so number one, they put a unibrow on it. Yeah, you already saw that they have this weird thing up at the top. Okay, so that interferes with the screen. It's going to interfere with videos, it's going to interfere with all kinds of things. Plus, you're going to have to sit there and look at that thing every time you look at the phone. Okay, and then they used a lower resolution display. It's nowhere near 2K with half the maximum brightness. Okay, and I already showed you that as well. Okay, still sticking with the same theme here. We have a 5.8-inch display that doesn't have 5.8 inches of usable area. Again, because of the notch or the unibrow. Okay, so next, they added bezel all around it and called it an edge-to-edge display. Like I said before, you'd have to be deep inside the RDF to believe that. Okay, next, they removed the fingerprint scanner. Now, this is going to cause a lot of people problems. They've gone to gestures, and a lot of reason people buy the iPhone is because you don't have to be tech savvy at all to use it. Okay, it's really intuitive out of the box. It doesn't do anywhere near what an Android phone does, but a lot of people don't care about that. It just suits their needs the way it is. But now they went and removed the fingerprint scanner, and you're going to have to use face recognition. So you're going to have to hold it right. It's just going to not work as well. I do like, though, that I personally like the gestures, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, now they had a perfect opportunity to move this to the back and put it in the Apple logo. It would have been perfect, or on the volume button. But no, they took it away. Okay, so that probably wasn't something that many people are going to like, that that's suddenly gone. That's the way people interact with an iPhone. They push the button. Okay, so this could have acted as a home button as well, or it could have just been a fingerprint scanner and just use a soft home button. Okay, the next thing they did to improve the iPhone X over the Note was they removed the iris scanner. Yeah, nobody wants that, so why put it on the iPhone? Yeah, right. Okay, the iris scanner is a very secure way to sign into your phone, and it's also faster than their implementation of Face ID. Face ID is a three-step process. You have to turn on your phone or your screen, look at it, and then swipe up. Now, in what world is that any better than opening it and then looking at it, or having the home button on the back and just, or the fingerprint scanner on the back and just pushing it? Okay, so there, something else they did to improve the iPhone X or X over the Note 8. Okay, moving on, they removed SD card support. Now, SD cards are no substitute for internal storage, and nobody's going to claim that. But it's a great way to carry around extra media and files. You have an unlimited supply of storage for an inexpensive price. You can also use it for your camera and store all your pictures on there. So it's a handy thing to have. Instead, you're going to have to pay a pile of money to upgrade your phone to internal storage and pay that Apple tax. And how could we forget? They removed the headphone jack. Now, a lot of people were upset about this. Some people aren't. I'm on the fence with it. I don't use wired headphones that much personally. I use my wireless ones when I work out every morning, but I do like to have the option. When I'm on an airplane, I carry my wired headphones so I can plug them into the entertainment center, and I also will plug them into my phone when I'm flying. So not having it is kind of a, kind of a pain for a lot of people. So they did that to improve the iPhone X over the Note 8 as well. Okay, next, they made fast wireless charging slow. Phones that have wireless charging now, the newest phones, have quick charge on their wireless charging. And it is a lot faster. It uses a 15-watt charging brick, and I'm going to get to that in the next clip. Whereas Apple's uses a 7.5 watt, and I'm going to get to that in the next clip. Okay, making fast wireless charging slow. Okay, now going on to this one, they charge around $70 extra per fast charging gear. So what I mean by that is you have to buy a separate charging brick and a more heavy-duty cable to use fast charging on the iPhone X. Okay, so on Android phones that have fast charging, they put it in the box. Apple, with their typical money grab, you're going to have to pay $70. And then, once you do that, at least based on the iPhone 8, it's going to take a half hour longer to charge it. When there's a comparison between the Note 8 and the iPhone 8, the Note 8 charged 30 minutes faster on fast charging than the iPhone did, and it has a much larger battery in the Note. Okay, so there's something else that has been improved for you when you buy the iPhone X. Okay, so Apple's been doing this for a number of years. You see this? You got this camera bump sitting in the corner. So when you tap on your phone, if it's on the table, it'll flop around. Okay, there's no reason for that. Make the phone 1/8 of an inch thicker or whatever that is, so there's no bump there. And make the battery bigger. What's the point of having a thinner phone when the camera sticks out? As you can see, the Note 8 doesn't have that problem here. As a matter of fact, going back as far as the Galaxy S6, we don't have that. So why is Apple doing it? All right, so now that Apple has made all those improvements over the Note 8, they've added all of those things. Well, not, I guess, the opposite of that. They raised the price by $69. So, as usual with Apple, you're getting less for more. Okay, so everything there that I told you is absolutely true. It's not to say that there aren't some good things about the iPhone X. Of course there are. But you need to take all of those things into consideration. Apple just removed a whole pile of stuff, charge you more for a phone that, quite frankly, is not near as good in most ways. Okay, so I had a little bit of fun at Apple's expense there. Unfortunately, everything I said is true. Anyway, you can comment below, give me hell. I'm sure that the Apple fanboys are going to go insane. People using Android phones are going to think it's funny. But people that are just iPhone users, pay attention, because everything I told you is true. You can do better with a different phone. All right, that's all from me. I'm Tim from Cheaptastic Tech, and stay tuned. I'm going to do one on the iPhone 8 next.